Good morning, today. I got Facebook. Today is our food day. I got all of my favorite foods here to share with you, and I'm excited. I just want to give one disclaimer that is, this is not obviously all of the foods that I eat or that I recommend if you decide to follow ketogenic diet, but this is some of my favorite foods. I want to say right off the bat, first, thank you for joining me. If it's the first time that you are tuning in, my name is Mubarak Ibrahim, and I am your health and happiness coach. Today is part four of our four-part series about the ketogenic diet, and I want to make a disclaimer and a statement, which is I'm going to show you lots of different products today. I am not being paid by any of these companies. I do have an affiliate code for a couple of them, but your purchase of them is completely up to you. If you just think that they are going to be beneficial for you, or if you decide to try them, I'm going to show you the vitamins that I use. I'm going to show you the foods that I eat. I'm going to show you how to properly make keto coffee, right? Because a lot of people actually don't make it right, and then you're like, oh my god, this is so nasty. But um, Amira said that it sounds like I'm underwater. Does anybody else do I sound strange to other people right now? I don't think that I have. Oh, you know what?
My Bluetooth, okay, is that better? Because my Bluetooth was on. And I think I had to turn that off in order for everything to go through the phone. All right. I think that probably was it. All right. It's a little echoing in here because I am inside of my studio and not inside my house. It says the volume is not good. It sounds like I am underwater or gargled. You know what? Okay, how it says that it's better. Much better. Okay, yes. It was my Bluetooth. All right. So, Instagram, you're on a different phone. That's why it sounds fine for you. I actually have two phones. I have one phone just for Instagram, and I have one phone for Facebook. So, let me repeat myself then. If you are just joining me, my name is Mubaraka Ibrahim, and I am your health and happiness coach. And today is part four of our four-part series about the ketogenic diet. And I'm going to show you all of my favorite foods. And I'm going to also repeat my disclaimer, which is I am not being paid by any of these companies. But if anybody from any of these companies see me and want to pay me in order to be an ambassador for your program, you can hit me up on my DMs. I'm always open for that. I can send you my social media rate. I'm just saying. The other thing is that I do have an affiliate code for a couple of these products because I love them and I use them. And if you feel they're beneficial, then I will tell you what those is. So, one of the things that people have a challenge with on a ketogenic diet is that they cannot imagine their life without carbohydrates. Right? What do I eat in the morning if I'm not eating a bagel? What do I have if I can't eat oatmeal? Right? How do I snack if I can't eat a banana or some other type of fruit? And so they actually don't want to do what they know is the best thing for them because they actually don't know what to eat. Well, one of the things that I do is I teach women how to live a low-carb ketogenic lifestyle and do it with delicious foods and make it not just a 40-day challenge, which I also offer, but make it an entire lifestyle. So these are the things that you can incorporate to make yourself healthier. So I believe in a well-formulated ketogenic diet. I do not believe in what is termed as dirty keto. So dirty keto is full permission to just go by macronutrients and have no concern about the quality of your food. I believe that weight is just a symptom symptom of a larger health issue. It's not just about losing weight. It's not just about the scale or the size pants you fit in. It really is about improving your health. Weight loss, ultimate goal should be to improve your health. And so you should not compromise your health trying to lose weight. So, the whole idea of I'm going to eat bacon every single day, wrapped in everything in bacon, I am not a fan of that. But I do love me some beef bacon. I'm not going to lie. Every so often, a couple of times a month, I might have a couple pieces of beef bacon. I'm not going to lie. And yes, it is halal before I start getting a whole bunch of messages. All right? If you don't live in America and you don't have access to halal beef bacon, then you don't know what you're missing. All right? There's beef bacon, there's turkey bacon, and it's all halal. Unfortunately, and somebody can help me out on this if they know something different, I live in the United States, I have not been able to find a halal company that offers nitrate-free bacon. The nitrate in the bacon and in the bologna and in the hot dogs is what is carcinogenic. It is actually something that you should not. In large portions, it has been shown to cause cancer. So this is the reason why we do not want to overindulge in these things. When we hear people say, well, the CDC and the FDA has said that meat is a carcinogenic. No, that is not true. Processed meat, meaning meat that has nitrates in it, have been deemed carcinogenic. A steak is not carcinogenic. And this is an argument that a lot of people will misuse and misrepresent to try to convince people to eat less meat, which is fine. You can eat less meat. I don't feel like you have to eat meat every single day or with every single meal, but just based on truth. You know, I'm all about the truth and the science of it. So it is not meat that is carcinogenic. It is processed meat, and that is a very important distinction. There is a big difference between a piece of steak and a piece of bacon or a hot dog or a piece of bologna. All of those things have nitrates in them. All right? Okay, so with that said, what do I eat in a day? So first I want to talk to you really quickly about what is considered a ketogenic plan. A ketogenic plan is one that is high in fat, moderate amount of protein, and low in carbohydrates. There is a range which is considered ketogenic. So the technical range would be any diet that is 60% or more fat is considered ketogenic. So if it's less than 60% of fat, it's not considered ketogenic. And any diet that is less than 30% carbohydrates, that is sort of like the cutoff. The reason why it's the cutoff is because in, say, the most athletic person, somebody that runs marathons, generally they can have a higher range of carbohydrates. So your range of carbohydrates for maintenance, meaning that you're not trying to lose weight, you're just trying to use it for performance or disease prevention, then if you are eating more than 30% carbohydrates, most people, even elite athletes, will not be able to achieve ketosis. So that is why that is a range. Generally, your protein amount is going to stay between 20 and 30% of your overall calories from protein. So remember, you have like 100% that you're trying to make up. If 60% is fat, then you got 40% that you got to split between carbs and proteins, and you do that appropriately. All right, so when I wake up in the morning, so I'm going to just go through kind of like my day and how I maintain a ketogenic lifestyle. And I'm going to be completely transparent. 90% of the time I am eating keto. I do not believe anything is all or nothing. So if it's somebody's birthday, if it's the Eid, if it's something like that, then I may have one day where I'm not even counting or worried about what I'm eating. I'm just eating what's available for me, and then I get right back on my plan the next day. But I don't do that all the time, right? I may do it every few months or something like that. Depends on what's going on, what time of year it is, right? So, what do I do first thing in the morning? I'm going to go through a day of sort of like if I ate all of my favorite foods. Most of them I have here, right? And my supplements. So, one of the things that I always recommend for people is for them to take a multivitamin that is food-based. A food-based multivitamin means that, and I'm not married to this particular brand, I have been taking it for several years. I enjoy it. It is called Alive. I think that it is effective. I can feel the difference when I take it. What makes a food-based multivitamin is that when you look at the ingredients and the nutrients of your vitamins, after you see vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A, copper, zinc, all that, you should see a list of foods. That means that those are dehydrated actual foods that are inside of the vitamin. The reason why this is important is because nutrition scientists can break down a vitamin based on its cellular structure, and they can duplicate that inside of a lab. However, it is not what is called bioavailable, which means the bioavailability is your body recognizing it as vitamin A, for example, right? So if they create a cellular structure of vitamin A, our bodies don't recognize the entire cellular structure. So if you have lab-based multivitamins, then you're probably only absorbing anywhere between 30 to 50% to whatever it says on the back, right? So this is what some of the research shows, is that your body doesn't absorb all of it. But if you are getting vitamin A from an actual food that grows in the ground, it is from a natural source, and your body recognizes it and it absorbs up 90 to 100% of that vitamin because it is a natural source. So that is the reason why I recommend food-based multivitamins, all right? So you can get this from, I buy it from Vitamin Shop. You can get it from GNC. They even have it at some grocery stores. That is the multivitamin that I use. The next thing that I do is, so in the morning, that's probably when I take a lot of my vitamins, I take my fat-burning supplement, right? So this is my green tea fat-burning supplement. This is my new brand. This is not the official, it's available. It's not the official launch of the product line, but you can go to shopfitmuslima.com and you can order it. It is a green tea-based fat burner, which means it boosts your metabolism. When you use green tea, and by the way, all of my vitamin lines are all vegan and halal. Obviously, if it's kind of like a redundancy to say something vegan is halal, but I just say it for, I don't know, marketing purposes maybe, right? So, research shows that green tea, of many benefits that it has, one of the things that it does is that it boosts the metabolism by 17%. So I actually take 2 of these twice a day. It also decreases your appetite. So to answer your question, hijama, yes, I do take these when I am fasting. So I tend to take, okay, let me rephrase that. On the days that I do not fast in the morning, I take everything at once. If I am fasting, food-based multivitamins, generally I will take this with my first meal because it kind of upsets my stomach if I take it on an empty stomach. This I will take in the morning when I'm fasting. I take 2 in the morning. I take 2 mid-afternoon. Green tea, because it does have caffeine, so if you're sensitive in caffeine, yes, it does, but it has much less caffeine than coffee, right? So, less caffeine than coffee. I take it in the morning. I take it mid-afternoon. It also decreases your appetite and it makes your fast easier. I personally am I'm doing a rehab on my shoulder. I injured my shoulder a couple of months ago. So I'm actually taking my joint supplement as well in the morning time. And my joint supplement has glucosamine, boswellia, chondroitin, turmeric, quercetin, and and bromelain in it. All of these things have lots of research around it on its effectiveness in helping joints and tendons to heal. And so this is what I am currently taking, and I've been taking it for probably a month now. I injured my shoulder like 3 months ago. Alhamdulillah, it is so much better now. I'm not going to say it's better only because I've been taking this, but also I have been doing a physical therapy program that I created for myself and seeing my sports medicine doctor. So that is what I take in the morning, and I take these two when I'm fasting on an empty stomach. What I take in the afternoon is I will take this with my first meal if I am fasting that day. And generally, I have my first meal. Normally, I have my first meal around 1 or 2 o'clock, and it just depends on the day. I also take with my first meal on a daily basis turmeric. Now, I've been taking turmeric probably for about, 3 years, because the benefits of turmeric is just astounding. The thing about taking turmeric, this is very, very important. You must take turmeric that has black pepper. There is, inside of this turmeric, there is bioperine, which is a black pepper extract. So if you don't go and buy Golden Touch, which is the Fit Muslimah wellness line, make sure that your turmeric has black pepper extract or bioperine in the ingredients. That's number 1. Number 2, you must take this with fat. Turmeric is a fat-soluble nutrient. So don't put turmeric in your juice. Don't add it to your smoothie. There are 3 things that help turmeric to absorb into the body, because curcumin, which is the active ingredient of turmeric that we want, it is not very bioavailable. We talked about what that was at the beginning. In order for your body to actually use the curcumin, you must have 3 things. You must have black pepper, you must have heat, or fat. So black pepper literally cracks the cell open so that the curcumin can come out. Heat and fat helps your body to absorb it. So it is actually the best way for you to absorb, to actually have turmeric inside of your diet, if you're going to use the actual root in food, is to put it inside of your meals where it's going to be heated up and you're going to add fat to it. So that is a part of my black card collard greens recipe. It's on IGTV. It's on this video. You just have to, search and Google it. If you actually put it in Google, like black card collard greens and Fit Muslimah, I'm sure to bring up the video, which is one of the reasons why I decided to just do this from my studio today instead of doing it from the house and actually showing you how to cook, because I've done that before. And so I take this once a day as well, right? So those are kind of like the main things that I take on a daily basis as far as vitamins. The next thing that I do on a day that I do not fast is the first thing in the morning, I will actually do my coffee. So I'm going to I have my water pot here. I got to turn on my coffee. So I have... as you know, a ketogenic diet is a high-fat diet, and when you are fasting and you're trying to eat high-fat, sometimes it can be a little hard to do both of those things, and it's hard to get enough fat into your diet. So does everybody who follow a ketogenic diet have to put butter in their coffee? Absolutely not. If you have a menu plan or a meal plan and you're used to putting extra olive oil, extra avocado oil, all those things into your foods, and you get enough fat that way, then that's absolutely fine. I find a good way for me to incorporate more fat into my diet is to have my keto coffee, because I'm going to have coffee anyway. So it's a super easy way. I only have this if I am not doing an intermittent fast that day, right? You must know that when you are putting butter and oil in your coffee, if you take that while you're fasting, you are breaking your fast, and it is you're not going to have all of the benefits of fasting, because it is going to activate your insulin level. It is going to activate your digestive system, and one of the points of the fast is for you not to activate those things. So there's a couple of things. And again, this is not something that I am promoting, but I use it and I think that it's awesome, which is a cordless blender. So the number one thing that you need if you are going to make keto coffee is a blender. You cannot use a mixer. You cannot stir it with a spoon. It will be nasty. Most people who try to make keto coffee and then don't like it is because they didn't make it right. So I use this because it is super convenient and it is super easy. Okay, so inside of keto coffee is three things. There is obviously coffee, right? There is butter, and the third thing is MCT oil that many people will use coconut oil instead. I didn't realize my teapot was so loud, so I'm going to try to talk a little louder. MCT oil is really beneficial. You can get it in several different forms. So let me talk a little bit about MCT oil real quick. You can get it inside of a liquid form. So this is what I used to buy. It's literally an oil in here. I am not being paid by this brand, but I actually like Sports Research brand. A lot of their for people who are Muslim or Jewish and follow a kosher or halal diet, they actually have a lot of supplements that come inside of either a fish oil capsule or a vegetarian or vegan capsule. The name brand is called Sports Research. And again, this is stuff that I get from Vitamin Shop. I'm not going any place special, and I'm sure you can order it online. So MCT oil comes inside of an oil, which you can add to things. You can also cook with that. It also comes inside of okay, I thought I left my powder. It comes inside of a powder as well. So this is my new discovery. MCT oil in a powder. So this company is called Perfect Keto. Again, disclaimer, I am not being paid by the company, but I use it and do have an affiliate code. So if you go there and you are interested in purchasing any of their products, if you put Fit Muslima, one word with an H at the end, I believe you get 10 or 15% off of your purchase. But I really love their products because, one, they taste super good. I just discovered this, actually. I used to use the flavorless one, but now I discovered they have flavors. So this one is salted caramel. They have a delicious vanilla. It is MCT powder. It is a powder, as you can, I don't know, can you see that? It's an MCT powder. And it comes with a scooper. The reason why you want to add MCT oil as a really important aspect to a ketogenic diet, actually MCT oil can be used even if you're not on a ketogenic diet. Several things that an MCT oil has been shown to do in research studies is, number one, it helps you to feel full longer. It also has shown to improve weight loss, decrease insulin resistance, right? So they actually did one research study with type 2 diabetics, and they found that the people who had MCT, who they gave MCT oil, and don't quote me on this, but I think it was like a tablespoon and a half in the morning, they needed 30% less insulin throughout their day. And so it is good for insulin resistance if you have diabetes. It has been shown to actually improve the symptoms of children with autism. There's a large spectrum, and again, it's not an overnight thing. It's one of those things that you might want to start incorporating it and see if it works for your child, because I believe about 60% of the participants in this particular study actually saw an improvement in symptoms of their children with autism. So it's not it's not 100%, and it's not going to work overnight, but incorporating it. It has been shown to be helpful for the brain to help decrease epilepsy, the frequency of seizures. So there's a lot of research around MCT oil for the purpose of ketogenic eating, right? The purpose of ketogenic eating, it is a way of adding a healthy fat to your diet. One of the other benefits of MCT oil is that it also can give you immediate energy. So it is processed differently in the body than other oils. It does not have to go through the entire processing of converting of your liver producing bile to convert it into energy. It actually is converted immediately into energy. So using it immediately before a workout is good. So on my non-fasting days, I would actually have my keto coffee in the morning and then do my workout. The other benefit that it has for athletes is that the other benefit that it has for athletes is that it has been shown that when athletes, they did this one research study with cyclists, and they found that they actually produce less lactic acid, so it allowed them to continue to work out longer. So lots of benefits around this. All right, so how do I make it? So there's 3 things that you need. You need MCT powder or coconut oil. The reason why coconut oil inside of a ketogenic diet is actually because coconut oil is 50% MCT oil. That's why it's used a lot. You need butter, but use grass-fed butter, right? Don't just use regular butter. You need butter. Generally, people will say don't use salted butter, use unsalted butter. I personally am fine with salted butter. It tastes fine to me. And you use coffee. Now, most people will just make themselves a cup of coffee. I do things as easily as I possibly can do. And so I use Starbucks instant coffee. I like Starbucks. Instant coffee is super easy. Sometimes, not all the time, I will also add collagen. So this is a halal collagen brand. It's called Harthi. They have, all of their stuff is halal. They are a Muslim-owned company, and I've been using their product for probably a little over a year now. Collagen is very beneficial. Number one, it's beneficial for your gut. It has been shown to help you to produce healthy gut bacteria, and as well as for your joints and bones. Now, let me say this about collagen. The very best way for you to take collagen is to also take it alongside or with a food that has vitamin C, or if you're taking a supplement that has vitamin C. So if I am taking this inside of my coffee, I'm also taking my multivitamin because my multivitamin has vitamin C. Or sometimes I will put collagen inside of my whey protein shake. This is what I use. And when I put collagen inside of my whey protein shake, I will add berries because berries have vitamin C. So that's phase 2 of my program for all my clients that are watching. We'll talk about berries at the end, right? That's actually phase 2. Phase 1, no berries. All right, here we go. Coffee. Right? I saw that somebody commented that they tried keto coffee and it was nasty and it made them nauseous. Then you probably put too much oil or too much butter in it. Generally, that's what happens when a keto coffee makes people nauseous. I have coffee. The butter really serves also as cream. I have a tablespoon of butter. I have a scoop of my caramel salted MCT powder. Right? I have hot water. Don't want that to fall. Just leave a little bit of spice at the top there. I have some hot water. I'm going to put the cap on this. And I'm going to blend it. So I I literally let it blend. So as you see, it ends up looking almost like a latte. It kind of tastes like a latte as well. One of the reason why I like One of the reasons why I like this flavored MCT powder is because it already has stevia in it, which is an approved sweetener, and so you do not have to add any sweetener to it. I would normally have a big cup, but I only got my glass cup, little one. I would drink this whole thing. This is not 2 servings, this is 1 serving. Just so that you can see what it looked like. That's the reason why I got the glass cups. That is what keto coffee looks like. It is quite delicious. If you taste it and it tastes oily or it tastes like you have oil in your coffee, then either you use too much butter or MCT oil, or you did not blend it enough or properly, all right? It's so good. It really is good. I'll drink this in a minute. I want to finish going through some of the stuff. So somebody said, can you put monk fruit in it in order to sweeten it? Yes, you can. If you feel like you want to add sweetener to it. So all sugar-free sweeteners are not okay to have on a ketogenic diet. Most things that end in ose will still raise your insulin level, even though it is sugar-free and carb-free. The 3 approved sweeteners on my program is monk fruit, erythritol, and stevia. This is the brand of monk fruit that I use right here. Again, they are not paying me. I do have an affiliate code. If you go to their website and put in Fit Muslima, again, you'll get a discount on checkout. So this is monk fruit with erythritol. The new one that I found that I actually like is Sola Sweetener. This is actually really good. So these are the 2 in my cabinet. As you can see, my Sola is gone. This is actually sold at Costco. So you can actually go to Costco. So somebody said, what if you don't drink coffee? You can do the exact same thing with tea. There's actually, we often say keto coffee, but you can actually make keto tea as well, keto chai, right? Everything except for coffee, you just put chai in it. And there you go. The caffeine is not the requirement of the keto coffee, the fat is. So I actually sometimes I also make keto chai as well. It's Fit Muslima. Everything around me is Fit Muslima. My code for LaConta is Fit Muslima. It's all Fit Muslima. All right. All right. So that is how I make keto coffee. Some of my favorite things to make on my diet plan is I will generally, like, on a non-fasting day, I will have my keto coffee in the morning, and I generally pair my really hard workouts on the days that I don't fast, right? So the way that I really believe that you should incorporate fasting into your weight loss program is that once you get to a maintenance state, then you may not need to do intermittent fasting on a daily basis, but you should do it at least twice a week. So in general, I do it more than twice a week, but in general, I tell my clients, like, okay, when we're losing weight, we intermittent fast every single day. But once you are on a maintenance, which is phase 2 of the program, we are doing it for health maintenance, not health transformation or restoration. And so you don't need to fast on a daily basis. Some of my favorite things to have on a ketogenic diet is, I love veggies. On my personal Facebook page, I do a veggie check-in several times a week to just remind people to eat veggies. My favorite vegetable is collard greens. And y'all probably see me all the time. So in general, I'll be honest, my top 5 vegetables that you will probably find inside of my refrigerator is collard greens, broccoli, squash, cauliflower, and asparagus. I am a simple girl. Okay? I'm a very simple girl. So, those are my top 5. I'm not saying that all vegetables are not good. I'm just showing you what I eat. I love it. Cauliflower is super delicious way of making macaroni and cheese that's keto friendly. It actually becomes cauliflower and cheese. You basically make it just like macaroni and cheese, but you use cauliflower instead. Tonight I am going to actually make some cauliflower mash. It is a great substitute for mashed potatoes. So cauliflower, I use cauliflower for a lot of things. You can grill it. I sometimes will season it with salt and curry, and I will either grill it or put it in the oven so that it can so it will grill there. So there are lots of different things that you can do with cauliflower. The thing that makes cauliflower so versatile is that it has a very mild taste, and you can easily change the taste by the foods that you put with it or the spices that you put with it. I love zucchinis. I love zucchinis because zucchinis can be made in so many different ways. Again, versatile food, right? One of the things that I love, my favorite way, is to having a fried zucchini salad. So I take the zucchini, and again, this recipe, I'm sure it's on Facebook if you scroll the page, but I think it might be on Instagram. I'm not sure, but you can go to Facebook. And I use zucchinis, and I have my cutter where I shred them into very small kind of fry-like pieces. Fry it in oil, in avocado oil, and then I add chopped tomatoes, chopped red onions, and then toss it in some curry powder and salt. Oh my gosh. Just because I'm telling you about it, I'm probably gonna go make some when I get off. Like, that's like one of my favorite types of salad. So delicious. What else do I have here? Oh, what do I eat when I snack? So number one, I am not a huge friend of snacking. I believe eating whole, nutritious foods is actually the best thing to do. Snacking is a privilege of our modern day society. People who live on a farm did not, remember yesterday we talked about eating as if we owned a farm? You were out harvesting and planting. You did not have time to go and say, oh, I want a snack, right? But in today's time, right? Say that I'm fasting and I don't have the time to go and make a full meal to break my fast, but I know that I need to eat. I will sometimes just have a snack. And my favorite snack is pecans and cheese. I will be honest. And chocolate. This is my favorite. I snack on other things, but like, for example, which I don't have here, I love guacamole. In phase 2 of my program, you can have hummus, so hummus and celery. But one of my favorite things to do is to have pecans. I buy some regular cheese, not American cheese. That is not really cheese. It is cheese food. This is Monterey, right? Or you get ice. I brought this out in my refrigerator, but sometimes I get the blocks of cheddar cheese, and I will have the cheddar cheese, and I literally just have a slice of cheese, some pecans, and some chocolate. Just like that. That's super easy. Now I have me a whole bunch of little pieces of cheese to go on my plate with my pecans. I can't show you my plate, so. And this is not for phase 1. For all my clients that's watching, this is not phase 1. Phase 2, Lily's chocolate, all right? Lily's chocolate is only 17 grams of carbs and 9 grams of fiber. which gives it 3 grams of erythritol, which gives it, with 9 and 3 is 12, 5 grams of net carbs, which don't go by that, but in general, you want to count total carbs. They have lots of different, types. They have dark chocolate, milk chocolate. This happens to be the crisp, remember Rice Krispie treats? Not Rice Krispie treats. What candy bar is that? They have like the Rice Krispie treats in it. So that's what this is. This is a full bar, but a serving is 1/3 of a bar. I struggle sticking to a serving, but we will stick to it today. All right. And I just break this off, and I have this, and I have my cheese, which is going to give me some fat, and I have my pecans. So that is actually one of my favorite snacks that I like. It's really good. All right. Anything that I forgot? You can have chocolate. If you're on my program, you can have chocolate in phase 2, right? We're breaking the sugar addiction in phase 1. When you're able to control yourself and you have reached your goal weight and you're trying to maintain your weight, then a periodic piece of chocolate that is sugar-free will not kill you, all right? Do I have anything else? Oh, what else I forgot. Oops. I also take vitamin D. We talked about vitamin D a lot the other day. 2 tips again about vitamin D is you should take the liquid, not the capsules, because it is more, it is absorbed more fully. It's more, again, bioavailability is the liquid. You should remember that vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, which means it needs to be taken with a meal, but fat-soluble means that it needs to be taken with fat. So vitamin D and my turmeric, I will take it with my keto coffee because my keto coffee has a lot of fat in it. Is that everything? I think that is everything. Questions. I am answering questions. Somebody on the program, somebody said, is there any tips on doing keto while breastfeeding? So that is all going to depend on several things. At what point of breastfeeding you are. Inside of my program, I have a whole module that gives recommendation of what to do while you're breastfeeding. There's no known risk of eating ketogenic diet while you're breastfeeding, but there's also no known studies. So I have to make that disclaimer. Selena said, do you take any herbs? Turmeric is a herb. Green tea is a herb. But other than that, I do not. I don't take, not that I believe in herbs and I think that they are really beneficial. So in terms of what I would take if I was to take herbs is that if I am sick or if somebody in my family is sick, we will do golden seal, we will do echinacea, we will do astragalus. All of those help to boost the immune system as well as kill virus and bacteria. So those are kind of like our go-to, but we do have herbs in our cabinet, but I don't take them on a daily basis. Maria said, help, I'm fat. I am able to help you. You have to go to mr40method.com. I am opening up registration for our next group on Friday. So get on the wait list. Go download the 10-day sugar detox, start there, and by the time you're done with your 10-day sugar detox, you will be in the program and you will be ready to get started. What do you eat for dinner, or is it the same? Oh, duh. I didn't even tell you about dinner. So, collard greens is normally lunch or dinner, broccoli, squash, yellow squash, zucchini, squash. I eat all proteins. I will be honest, I probably eat an animal-based protein at least 5 days a week. I will eat fish, chicken, beef, shrimp, salmon, which is fish, tilapia, which is fish, catfish, which is fish, mahi-mahi, which is fish. Those are kind of like I'm trying to think of what's inside my freezer right now. I didn't bring this stuff out my freezer. But generally, dinner is a protein, an animal-based protein, because they are complete proteins, and a vegetable. Generally, that's what my dinner is. When people normally ask me things like, well, how do I not have to cook 2 meals for me and my family? Number one, I recommend that if you are trying to reduce carbohydrates for yourself, that you start to slowly reduce carbohydrates for your family as well, because as well as sugars, because our goal is for our kids to be better than us. We don't want our kids to just eat any old kind of thing, and then when they get our age, they're looking for me. I may not be around. Just joking. All right. Yes, you can have turkey as well. So any animal-based proteins is acceptable on a ketogenic diet. It is a good way of keeping your protein up. This is the protein powder that I use right now. Again, it is something that I get from Vitamin Shop. It's called Dymataz is the name brand. It is a protein isolate. It has 25 grams of protein per serving and 1 gram of carbohydrate. So this is what I do. So lately, I'll tell you one of the things that I have I've been trying to up protein in my diet personally, because again, like I said, I'm trying to rehab my shoulder, and I have to actually rebuild muscle because I couldn't use my shoulder for like 2 months. So I was doing no upper body work for like 2 months. And so now I'm kind of starting from scratch, and protein is a very important part of building muscle. Your muscles cannot build on carbohydrates or fats. It must have protein. The amino acids is literally the building blocks of muscle. And so I have been trying to, even though I'm eating what I normally eat, which is, a good amount of protein, I have been trying to add an extra one protein shake a day. I don't have an opinion about Orgain or any other particular protein. And again, I'm not married to this. This is just what I use because of the macronutrients. It really is about the macronutrients. The only thing that I would tell you about protein powders is double check the back of them to make sure they are not adding extra carbohydrates to them, or they're not made with extra sugars. So once you find a brand that you like, once you find a brand that has good macros, it's only about taste after that. Like some brands, their macros look good, but when I taste them, they were like absolutely nasty. I tried this brand a couple of months ago, and it was supposed to be like to give me some variety, because instead of it tasting like a smoothie, as most protein powders taste, because it is because whey is a milk protein. It was supposed to make it taste more like juice, right? So they like purify the whey or something. It was so nasty. It's still in my cabinet. I don't want to bad talk the brand, because my husband actually likes it. So some people may like it, but me, the taste was disgusting. So I didn't eat it. I was like, hey, brought you some protein, honey. But he liked it, so. Somebody said, no, there was a question. All right. Yes, I keep getting this question. Question about dates and question about honey. Okay. And people always badmouth me after I say this. Stop eating dates and honey if you're trying to lose weight. No, you cannot have dates and honey, even though it is a sunnah, when you are on a ketogenic plan. And so somebody is going to come and argue with me in my comments and tell me, oh, but it's a sunnah. Oh, but the Prophet recommended. Oh, but the Prophet loved honey. The Prophet was not 60 pounds overweight. All right? The description of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was that he had flat abs all the way in his 60s. So, if weight is not an issue for you, and you got flat abs, and you have a six-pack, and you have no health issues, then by all means, go for it. All right? But if you were practicing the sunnahs, the other sunnahs, you wouldn't have to be on a ketogenic plan. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But on a serious tip, if we take this in terms of the sunnah and eating like the Prophet, one of the things that we take from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not just what he said, but even with hadiths, there is tafsir behind it. Even with hadiths, there are philosophies that are gathered in which we base our deen on. And if you look at hadiths about what the Prophet ﷺ recommended in terms of foods, one of the things that we learn, not from reading one hadith because we happen to like honey, and so we want to take this hadith and we want to say, well, I'm going to have honey every single day. So not just taking one hadith, but it is, you take the philosophy of the Prophet ﷺ, he would recommend certain foods for certain illnesses. He would tell people to stay away from certain foods for certain illnesses, right? I mentioned this before in another live that I did. And one of the things that somebody said in the comment was, well, you know, the Prophet ﷺ, he told somebody to eat such and such and such for this illness. I said, exactly, because it was illness specific. We really have to look at obesity as a metabolic dysfunction. Inside of our medical definition, it is considered a disease, right? It is not a healthy state for the human being to have excess fat and to be obese. It is not even a healthy state for the believer, right? We have many stories of Umar ibn Khattab, of Ali, of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, that where they warn people, of even Aisha radiallahu anha, that warn people and warn the ummah about overeating, about becoming overweight, about how overeating and becoming overweight will affect you getting up for salah, will affect you from completing your ibadah. This is not a natural state. It is not our fitrah. So in order to get back to our fitrah, you have to sacrifice certain sunnahs. They are sunnahs. They are not fard. They are sunnahs. So with that said, no to honey when you are on a ketogenic plan. You will not get into ketosis if you are eating honey. Yes, even if you're only eating a little bit to put in your tea in the morning, it is still going to affect you. I mentioned before that ketogenic diet is really an all or nothing. Either you're in ketosis or you're not, right? There is no, I'm following modified keto. No, you're just reducing your carbohydrates. There is a difference. And that's fine if you want to do that, but it's not a ketogenic diet. I'm just saying. The other thing is when it comes to the same thing, when it comes to eating dates, right? It is going to take you out of ketosis. If you want to be able to practice the sunnah of eating dates when Ramadan comes, then you need to be in the next challenge so that by the time Ramadan comes, you're in phase 2 and you're in a maintenance phase and you can do that. But also, breaking your fast with water is also a sunnah, right? We tend to want to attach ourselves to the things that we want to incorporate as a sunnah, but we try to detach and say, well, it's just a sunnah, it's not a fard, when we don't want to get up for tahajjud every single night, when we don't want to read Quran every single day, when you don't want to sit down for 2 hours in dhikr, right? All of these things all of a sudden become optional. Well, honey and dates are optional too. I'm just saying. All right. I'm going to digress. All right. off of that. I saw somebody ask about bananas. Nope. You cannot have bananas on a ketogenic diet. A banana has 30 grams of carbs. So the reason why is, for example, phase 1 of my program, the goal is for you to have no more than 20 grams of total carbs, not net carbs, total carbs in one day. One banana has 30 grams of carbs. If your reason for eating bananas is for the potassium, know that an avocado has more potassium than a banana and none of the sugar. So start eating avocados, all right? What do you recommend to get the most electrolytes? I'm struggling with figuring out how much to have each day. So if electrolytes is a struggle for you, one of the most important nutrients during a ketogenic plan is actually sodium, right? That's actually one of the most important nutrients. That's one of the reasons why. So our body excretes more sodium when we are on a ketogenic plan. That's one of the reasons why it's also a really beneficial plan for people with high blood pressure, is because it lowers your blood pressure, because it actually helps your body to process sodium better. But if you don't have high blood pressure and you're on a ketogenic plan, you have to make sure that you are adding sodium. That's normally difficult for people just to remember, because we're so used to thinking like, oh, I don't want to put too much salt in this. I don't want to put too much salt in this. Yes, you need to put salt in your food. So electrolytes, for people who don't know, is sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Avocados have a great amount of potassium, so you want to have those. Green vegetables are actually full of electrolytes. And if you still have an issue with your electrolytes, certainly go for an electrolyte supplement, right? That's generally the easiest way for people who struggle, right? You can definitely do it through your diet, but if you struggle, then a supplement is going to be the easiest way, all right? What is your question, Okinan? I think I pronounced that right. Question for you, Zabi, help for have a great shape. I don't understand that question. Yeah, help for have a great shape. I don't know what that is. All right, a couple of more questions, and then I will see you guys on Monday. I will bid you next week. We are going to talk about nutrients as therapy, right? We're going to talk about how we get the proper amount of lycopene and vitamin C. So like, for example, did you know, particularly tomatoes, that cherry tomatoes, the little ones, have more lycopene than any other type of tomatoes, right? Really important stuff. Also, too, when it comes to things like turmeric, right? We want to add it to our foods, but we don't want to add it too early, because turmeric actually starts the curcumin starts decreasing after about 20 minutes. The same thing with tomatoes, right? Tomatoes, they found that you can increase the amount of lycopene by cooking them, but if you cook them too long, it becomes like a bell curve. So we're going to talk about that next week. So a couple of questions. How many cups recommended per meal? I do not recommend cups per meal, but per day, right? So it depends on if you're eating 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day. But I recommend that you have 5 to 7 servings of vegetables per day. And a serving, it depends on what vegetable it is, can be a cup or half a cup. Can you have coconut water? You can have coconut water, but I personally am not a fan of coconut water. I think it's a lot of hype for nothing, to be honest. I'll just put my little 2 cents. I know you didn't ask me, but I'm not a fan of coconut water. I think it's a waste of money. The reason why I think it's a waste of money is because most people will say that they are taking coconut water to help with to replenish their electrolytes. However, as I just talked about, sorry, I'm trying to get rid of my notifications. The most important electrolyte for us to replenish is sodium, and coconut water has very little sodium. Coconut water has mostly potassium. But when you sweat, When you work out, you are not excreting potassium, you are excreting sodium mainly. That's the reason why your sweat is salty. So I don't think that you should worry about coconut water, but in general, my general rule for people who are not on my program and don't know this, my general ketogenic rule is 4 grams of carbs per serving. Any food that has more than 4 grams of carbs per serving, you should avoid it when you are trying to lose weight, right? So this rule changes a little when we're in a maintenance stage, but we're talking about weight loss for now. I mean, if I put I don't know what Zabi is, Okinan. I don't know what Zabi is. If I put Zabi in the meal or Tramtaki, will I have some I don't know what either of those things are, sorry. All right. Are liquid vitamins okay? Yes, liquid vitamins are okay. The only type of vitamin that I caution people against is, and I know I'm going to have some people that's going to be mad at me, but I am not a fan of gummy vitamins. I'm just not. I think that so I'll give you an example why. One of the most popular gummy vitamins is gummy apple cider vinegar. It's an oxymoron. One of the purposes of apple cider vinegar, for people who take apple cider vinegar shots in the morning, that's absolutely fine. It has been shown that apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, actually decreases your glucose and insulin level. So that's actually a good habit. It decreases insulin. But sugar increases insulin. One of the most popular gummy apple cider vinegar thingies have 4 grams of, I looked it up, 4 grams of sugar per serving, and they tell you to do it 2 to 3 times a day. You're literally just erasing all of the benefits of apple cider vinegar. Because one of the benefits of it is that it lowers your insulin level. But then sugar raises your insulin level. So you're wasting your money. So I am not a fan of gummy vitamins, but liquid vitamins, tablets, and capsules, go for it. All right? Okay, people. That's all we have time for today. Join me next week, and we are here 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to talk about food and nutrients and how to cook them so that we can get the best benefits and which ones to choose. We're going to have a fun time getting healthy and happy. That is our goal. So if you found this to be beneficial, please tag a friend, share the video, but make sure that you click the bell to subscribe to the updates. And if you have been watching and you have not commented or you have not posted anything, I must tell you that you need to at least post an emoji, because you need to tell the Facebook algorithms that you would like to see these, because now that Facebook has realized that people like all of these pages, but they don't interact with them, Facebook is going to stop showing updates from pages that you do not subscribe to or do not interact with. So apparently Mark Zuckerberg do not like Facebook stalkers, because he is trying to get rid of Facebook stalking. He don't like Facebook stalkers, so don't stalk me. Leave me a emoji, all right? And I will talk to you guys next week. Have an awesome weekend. Make sure you get out and do something that makes you sweat every single day and eat good food. All right? Assalamu alaikum.